uh, we had just discussed the commodities wala, no? That future price is nothing but spot plus PV of storage into 1 plus R. Now, we have discussed earlier about continuous compounding somewhere. Have we? The concept of continuous compounding, right? We have. Where we said that in case the interest rate is continuously compounded, then this we do normal amount equals to principal into 1 plus R raised to the power n. But in case of continuous compounding, this is substituted. This compounding methodology is substituted with e raised to Rn. Now, the same thing, if the interest rate is supposed to be continuously compounded, then this expression, this one would become future is equals to spot, right? Spot plus storage. Now, instead of 1 plus Rn, this would become e raised to Rn. You just substitute that compounding factor, right? And same way, if it's paid in arrears, this would be future is equals to spot into e raised to Rn plus storage. And where the storage is paid midterm, you say spot plus PV of storage into ERN, where PV of storage is calculated as storage into 1 upon ERN subscript S. That means the N here, like I said here, the N here will be for the period of discounting of the storage cost, right? Whereas the N here will be the period of the future contract. Okay. Now, so this is your normal compounding. This is your continuous compounding. Okay. Now, in commodities, there is one more concept which I will explain when we do the problem. Now, what you can do is you can take, ये आप लोगों ने लिख लिया था शायद. You can take this down. This. The expression for calculating future prices. Which one? Last one? This one? This is NS. NS. So if the storage is being paid after 2 months, but you are valuing the future for 3 months, then the storage will have to be discounted with 2 months. So that is NS. And the future price, for calculating the future price, you'll have to calculate for 3 months. That's N. So example, let's say spot price is rupees 400. That's the spot price of a particular commodity. Okay. And you are trying to forecast the future price for 4 months. So you're trying to forecast the 4-month future price. So that means N is equals to 4 months. And let's say R is 10% per annum. And it is now here. You will not apply this continuous compounding unless you see these words. Continuous compounding rate, or CCRI, continuously compounded rate of interest. Unless and until you see this word anywhere in the question, you will not apply this. The general presumption is normal compounding. Okay. So R is equals to 10%, and storage cost is, let us say, rupees 20, which is payable after 3 months. Right. So now what will be the future cost? See, storage cost is paid after 3 months. So that means we need to bring it to the present value. So first of all, present value of storage. Sorry. Say PV of storage would be rupees 20 into 1 upon 1 plus 0.1 divided by 12 into 3. 3 महीने से डिस्काउंट करोगे कितना? How much does this come out to? $19.51. $19.51. This is my PV of storage, right? So now, what will be my 4-month future price? 4-month future price will be spot plus PV of storage, spot plus PV of storage into 1 plus R raised to the power n. Right? This would be, now what is my spot? Spot is 400 plus PV of storage is 19.51 into 1 plus 0.10 divided by 12 into 4. This is 433.49. This is the price of the future. And this is the price of the future according to me. This is what I expect the future price to be. Now we will see, we'll compare it with the price in the market, right? And then decide whether it's undervalued, overvalued, should we buy it, should we sell it? That's something we'll do later. But this is how we generally calculate it. Raise to n. Huh? Raise to n1 रहेगा. रिवाइज नहीं कर रहे हो. मैंने बोला था कि लिखते वक्त we write like this because within, see, you have to, I mean, this is something basic. Yeah, you should have known compounding and all. ये compounding annually है, तो 3 महीने या 4 महीने में तो कोई compounding effect तो गिरेगा नहीं. तो फिर raise to the power क्यों? Raise to the power तो तब होता है जब compounding effect गिरता है. Suppose I had given this 10% per annum compounded monthly, then what would you have done? फिर क्या करते? Suppose ये वाले में यहां पे if I had said that this is compounding monthly, तो क्या करते ये यहां पे 0.1 raised to गलत रे 1 plus 0.1 divided by 12 monthly rate निकालना पड़ेगा ना आपको, and that will get compounded 4 times. तो भाई ये सब कंपाउंडिंग है रे, क्या कर रहे हो? And suppose I said that this is compounding bi-monthly. तब कैसे कैलकुलेट करोगे? हाँ, कंपाउंडिंग bi-monthly, 2 महीने में कंपाउंड होगा. Divide by 24. Are you sure? Bi-monthly. Divide by 6. Divide by 6 and raise to the power 2. क्योंकि 4 महीने में bi-monthly compounding कितने बार होगा? 2 बार, no? Every 2 months it's going to compound. So in 4-month period, the compounding will happen twice, right? To raise to the power 2. Right? Now, suppose I said, let's say, if I told you, yaar ye kya kar raha hu main? Suppose I told you 12% per annum compounded quarterly. Compounded quarterly. If you invest rupees 100 today, right? How much will you get after 1 year? कैसे करोगे? Divide by 4. So you get the rate for every quarter, and that quarterly rate will get compounded how many times? 4 times. So divide by 4 करोगे कि divide by 3 करोगे? Divide by 4, every quarter rate, right? And that quarterly rate will compound 3 months, 3 times, right? So raise to the power 3. Right? That is how you need to work the compounding. And acha, suppose it was compounded half yearly. Kaun sa? See, there would be 4 quarters, right? So 1 plus 0.12 divided by 4, and it will get compounded 4 times. Right? And suppose I told you to compound it half yearly, then divide by 2 raised to the power 2. Okay, chalo. Class 9 में करा रहा हूँ. Anyways, now this was about commodities, right? And commodities में there is still. Can you repeat for bi-monthly? अरे मम क्या करा रही हो? You are converting me into class 10 teacher. Bi-monthly, that means 1 plus 0.12. Bi-monthly मतलब 2 महीने का रेट चाहिए तेरे को, तो 2 महीने का रेट मतलब डिवाइड बाय 6, और यू कैन से व्हाट, और अल्टरनेटिवली इसको मैं कैसे लिख सकता हूं, इन डिवाइड बाय 12 मंथली और 2 महीने का रेट, राइट? सो विच इज नथिंग बट दिस इज डिवाइडेड बाय 6. दिस गिव्स यू द रेट फॉर 2 months, right? And this would get compounded how many times? If the compounding is going to take bi-monthly, that is every 2 months, how many times is this going to compound in a year? 6 times. Okay, and now okay, chalo, agar ye baat kar hi rahe, suppose I told you 12% per annum compounded half yearly, right? You invest 100 rupees. What will be the amount after 3 months? Banker आपको रेट सुनाता है कि the rate of interest is 12% per annum compounded half yearly. You invest 100 rupees and after 3 months you say, boss, give me my money back. So after 3 months, how much money will the bank give you? Raised to 100 into 1 plus 0.12 divided by 12 into 3. यार कंपाउंडिंग हाफ ईयरली होने वाला है, 3 महीने में कौन सा कंपाउंडिंग होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेट्स से you invest money at 10% per annum compounded half yearly. You invest 100 rupees, 10% per annum compounded half yearly. If you invest for 1 full year, how much are you going to get? 100 rupees, 10% per annum compounded half yearly. यार ये सब बिना जाने फाइनल में आ कैसे जाते हो यार आप लोग? 100, 10% per annum compounded half yearly कितना होगा 1 साल के बाद? 110.25. Now this 110.25, actually how did it come? 100 will become 105, right? And this 105 will become 110.25. Now that means the compounding effect is taking place on this amount here. Now what if you withdraw the amount here? Will there be any compounding effect? So what will be the amount? Simple rate, 100 into this, right? Now if you look at this example, rate of interest is 10% per annum. Now in the absence of any information, we will presume that interest is compounded annually, and we are calculating for future rate for how many months? 4 months. So in 4 months, will there be any compounding if the rate of interest is compounded annually? No. So that means लिखेंगे तो यही, right? Lekin when you're writing the expression, you'll have to raise to the power n, because what, supposing the problem gives you 2 years interest, 2 years future contract. Now if you don't write this expression like this, ऐसे लिखोगे तो compounding नहीं होगा आपका. Are you getting this? If you do not get into the habit of writing it like this, raised to the power n, supposing the question asks you what will be the future price for 2 years, तो आप तो सीधा ऐसे ही करके आ जाओगे without writing this n. So that is why I said, when writing this expression, you will always write to the power n. But when you're calculating, depending or not whether the compounding effect is taking place, you will have to use that power n or not use that power n. Right? Chalo, now see, we have spoken about commodities. Now let us discuss about stock futures. Now, in the earlier discussion, I said, presume that you were a farmer and you were looking to sell wheat. And I came to you and I said, boss, look, I want to buy the wheat, but I don't want to buy it today. I will take delivery after 3 months. I will pay you after 3 months, but we'll fix the price today. So you use this methodology to calculate the future price. Okay? And ये price determine करते समय, what did you tell me? You said, sir, had you paid the money today, I would have earned interest. So I will recover that interest from you. And because you are going to take delivery of the wheat after 3 or 4 months, I will be incurring storage costs. So that also you will have to pay. So that is what gave us this expression. Right? Okay. Now, let's substitute the word wheat with stocks. Stock of any company, say SBI. Now I'm coming to you and saying that, boss, look, I want to buy the stock of SBI from you, but not today. I will take delivery of it after 3 months and I will pay you after 3 months. But let's try fix the price today. How will you calculate the price? Say spot plus interest. Right? Now, understand this carefully. In case of commodities, right? You said, sir, you will have to pay me the spot, you will have to pay me the interest, and you will also have to pay me the storage cost. That's what you said. Okay. Now, in case of stock, you are saying, sir, you will have to pay me the spot and you will have to pay me the interest. What about storage? Understand? Technically speaking, there is no storage cost for equity. Now, you might be paying some demat charges, but that is totally immaterial in the overall scheme of things. So there is no storage cost as far as stock is concerned. Now, the moment you say, sir, you will have to pay me spot and interest, I will give you a counter argument. I'll say, boss, look, I'm willing to pay you the spot and interest. But when am I going to take delivery of the stock? After 3 months. In the meanwhile, if the company gives dividend, you will get it. Now here, you are only telling me the cost story. Sir, had you paid me today, I would have got the money today, I would have earned interest. Now my argument will be, okay, you would have earned interest, but then you would have earned dividend, no? Reduce that from the cost. Therefore, I will tell you that the future price should be spot plus interest minus dividend, right? Now, this again can present you 3 scenarios. Dividend received in advance, in arrears, or midterm. हो सकता है the moment you buy the stock, you get the dividend. हो सकता है you buy the stock, but you get dividend at the end of 3 months. Right? Or you get the dividend somewhere in between. Now, if you receive the dividend in advance, that means advance meaning today, as soon as you buy the stock. Advance, arrears, midterm. So if you are getting the dividend today, advance, how will you write this expression now? Spot minus dividend 1 plus RN. If you are receiving it in arrears, then spot into 1 plus RN minus dividend. And if you are receiving it in between, where PV of dividend is dividend into 1 upon 1 plus R and D. Dividend कितने दिन के बाद मिल रहा है, right? And if the rate of interest were continuously compounded, this would be spot minus dividend into ERN, spot into ERN minus dividend, and spot minus PV of dividend into ERN, where PV of dividend will be dividend into 1 upon ERND. So the concept is still the same, except you'll have to be careful that in case of commodities, you're going to add the storage cost because that's an additional element of cost. Whereas here, dividend is a source of revenue. So you'll reduce it from the cost. Okay? This is, so I mean, let's take an example. No, so say example, let's say the spot price is rupees 250. Okay? And let's say is 6 months. R is, let's say, 8% per annum, right? And dividend, you are receiving rupees 10 after 2 months. So what will be the future price? Future price ke liye, first of all, you would need to calculate the PV of dividend, right? PV of dividend would be 10 into 1 upon 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12 into 2. How much is this? 9.62. So this is my PV of dividend. Therefore, future price is equals to 250 minus 9.62 into 9.87. Okay. 9.87 into 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12 into 6. This should give you the future price. So this is 250 minus 9.87 into 1.04. 249.74. So you can take this down. This is stocks. So you've taken down commodities. This is how stock futures will be dealt with. Parth says, wouldn't dividend be up to the discretion of the company? So how would we estimate? Parth, आप लोग का वैल्यूएशन ऑफ इक्विटी हुआ है? हाँ, everyone, Parth, has valuation of equity been done for you? Yes. And how did you estimate the value of equity? एक मिनट रुको ना. हाँ, तो तभी क्यों नहीं पूछा? आई डोंट थिंक मैंने पढ़ाया था आपको, पर जिन्होंने भी पढ़ाया था उनसे ये क्यों नहीं पूछा, सर डिविडेंड डिस्काउंट दे रहे हैं, डिस्काउंट कर रहे हो, लेकिन डिविडेंड तो अप टू द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द कंपनी है, आपको कैसे पता चला? वैल्यूएशन ऑफ स्टॉक भी वैसे ही करते हैं ना, D1, D2, D3, उसका डिस्काउंटिंग करते हो. हाँ, तो तभी पार्थ पूछा क्यों नहीं कि सर डिविडेंड तो कंपनी का डिस्क्रिप्शन में, आप कैसे उसको पता एस्टिमेट कर रहे हो और डिस्काउंट कर रहे हो? बताओ पार्थ, इसका जवाब देना, फिर मैं अपना जवाब देता हूं. तन्मय सेज, व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ CCRI? आज मैं सबकी क्लास लूंगा. हाँ बॉस, CCRI का फॉर्म मैंने नहीं बताया था. तन्मय, everyone here is telling the full form of CCRI. आज मैं सबकी क्लास लेने के मूड में हूं, because I get the feeling that people are not revising or paying attention to what I'm saying. CCRI मैंने लास्ट लेक्चर में I had clearly mentioned. ये देखो, ये लास्ट लेक्चर में I had written continuously compounded rate of interest. हाँ, please go through now. See these chapters. एक मिनट, Parth, where is your answer? Where is your answer? You didn't think about it then, na? Because then everything would have been taught as a formula. So you didn't think about it. Understand, Parth, prediction of dividend is one of the most easiest thing you can do in finance. Because you say, no, sir, it's at the discretion of the company. Now we know that dividends affect prices because the whole pricing model is based on dividend, right? Do you think that a company would declare 100% dividend this year, 2% dividend next year, 15% dividend thereafter, which would tend to make its share price very volatile? Do you think the company would adopt this kind of a policy? No. So what kind of policy would then the company adopt? Anna? Kind of stable, somewhere near its past track record, right? तो स्टेबल पे. हाँ, तो फिर अगर आपको कंपनी का लास्ट ईयर का डिविडेंड, लास्ट ईयर का छोड़ो ना, लास्ट 3-4 साल का कोई भी कंपनी का आप डिविडेंड ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड देख लो, आपको पता चल जाएगा वो क्या रेंज में डिविडेंड देने वाला है. So prediction of dividend is the easiest thing you can do in finance. हाँ, कोई एक आधा साल ऐसा होगा जहां पे द कंपनी माइट पे बम्पर डिविडेंड, but then that should also not come as a surprise because anyway the company would have published half yearly results. Next year's guideline, I mean next half's guidelines, listed company है ना, guidelines issue करते हैं ना, तो next 6 month का guidelines issue करते हैं, तो उसमें एक अंदाजा तो आ जाएगा ना कि बस इस साल बम्पर प्रॉफिट होने वाला है. तो you can estimate. and अगर वो भी आपको कॉन्क्रीटली पता है, पता चल, इंफॉर्मेशन पब्लिश करता है, तो फिर आपको पगार क्यों देगा कोई? I mean, why do you get paid? You get paid because you make a forecast, take a bet on it, and make money. That is why people will pay you, ना? अब सब कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन स्पून फीड कर दिया है, तो फिर आपको पगार क्यों देगा? बोलेगा बॉस ये तो कोई बीकॉम ग्रेजुएट भी कर देगा ना अभी तो. दिस इज वेयर आवर स्किल लाइज. फोरकास्ट डिविडेंड. सो यू कैन से दैट सर हाउ कैन वी फोरकास्ट डिविडेंड. अगर वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं तो फिर वी हैव नो बिजनेस टू बी इन द स्टॉक मार्केट्स. एंड इट्स वेरी इजी. चलो, नाउ अच्छा, अभी let's go to the NSE screen. Okay, look carefully at what are the information provided there, and when you get the time, अपना लेक्चर कल है ना, आज when you get the time, go home, रात को आधा घंटा स्पेंड करो, explore the NSE site, explore it, because whatever we are going to study here, no, you're all going to find it there, right? Let's go to NSE India. Okay, now if you see this, I mean, आराम से फुर्सत में घर पे you explore the website. You have market data, invest list, trade regulations, etc. You can now let me search for a stock. कौन सा stock ले? Let's say Titan. Okay, now Titan company. Okay, this page opens. Okay, and follow very carefully. Now you see this at the top. No, unfortunately I can't mark it here. You see this, the orange band, Titan Company Limited, and uske niche you see equity, derivatives, SLB. Three things. Okay. Now, while I was teaching Forex, remember I told you the broker would have two screens: cash, F&O, right? This equity is the cash screen. Derivatives is the F&O screen, futures and options. Okay, and then there is SLBM, which is the stock lending borrowing mechanism. Okay, we'll come to that. Now, this 3199 which you are seeing below equity, this is the spot price under equity, right? Now, let's go to, I switch to the next tab, which is derivatives. Okay, now it gives me this screen. I want, now you see the select instrument types, active contracts, stock options and futures. Now understand the chapter we are studying right now is options and futures, right? But right now we are focusing on futures. I select futures. Okay. Now you notice there are three future contract expiry date: 28 September, 26 October, 30th November, 3-month future contracts. Okay. Now, on 28 September, when this future will expire, the first one, on that day, when you look at the screen, you will find one December future coming into existence. September मर रहा है ना अभी, 3 महीने का होना चाहिए ना अभी, दिसंबर आएगा, फिर जब ये अक्टूबर मर जाएगा, Jan आएगा. So at any given point of time, you will have 3-month futures. Now, what was the spot price of Titan? 3199. And today, what is the date? What is the date today? 11 September. And when is the September future expiring on? So how many days have we got for expiry? 17 days. Now spot is 3199. Okay. Now look at what is 28 September price. 3201. 3199 spot. 3201 is the future. What is the reason for this difference of 2 rupees? F is equals to S into 1 plus Rn. This 1 plus Rn is that difference. Right? And if you notice the 26th October, that means typically then 1 plus Rn should be a greater figure, because now you're talking of 2 months interest. Look at the price of future, 3216.7. Okay. 30th November should be even greater. Look at the price, 3241. Now, this is the price at which the future is trading, right? But before looking at this price, this 3201, 3216, we should have already done our homework by calculating the future price as per me. Using the spot price, using my R, my estimate, and calculated the future price. Now, supposing, let's say, I was calculating the 26th October price. the 26th October, and I calculated and found it out to be 3210. Then I will come to this screen and look at the price. It's 3216.7. What should I do? Don't. According to me, the price arrived at was 3210. Then I come into this screen and look at the price. It says 3216. What should I do? Aji? As of today, the October future price calculated by me is 3210. As of today, the October future price calculated by me is 3210. As of today, that October future is trading in the stock market at 3216. What will you do? Will you buy this contract or sell this contract? You will sell the contract because it's overpriced. Right? Now you'll say, sir, sell करने के लिए कुछ होना चाहिए ना? एक minute. No, not borrowing. Understand? You are entering into a contract to sell something in the future. This is a future contract. Right? आज कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो. It is like if you enter into a contract to sell gold to me after 3 months. Is it mandatory for you to have gold today with you? No. आपको तो 3 महीने के बाद करना है. वो concept borrowing selling was for stocks. If you sell the stock to me today, then you'll have to give delivery to me in 1 day. For that, you need to have the stock. If you don't, you borrow, right? And where will you borrow it from? Where will you borrow the stock from? That is this segment, SLB. SLB. Acha, if you wanted to buy stock, you would need money. Where would you get the money from? You will borrow from bank. To sell stock, you would need stock. If you have the stock, well and good. If you don't have the stock, SLB. I'll show you the SLB screen later also. But like I said, aaj ke baad, no one, when I'm saying, boss, sell the stock today, none of you should ask me the question, but sir, you should have the stock. If I don't, I'll borrow. I mean, when I say buy the stock, do you ever say, but sir, you need the money? मैंने फर्स्ट लेक्चर में ही बताया था, राइट? हमको बचपन से यही सिखाया जाता है, पैसा नहीं है तो बोरो कर लो. कोई हमको ये नहीं बताता है स्टॉक नहीं है तो बोरो कर लो. Right? So stock is just like money. If you have it, well and good. If you don't, just borrow it. You'll have to pay some charges. Right? Okay. Now, these are the stock future prices. Now, which means when the market will open, the spot price of Titan will keep changing every second. Now, when the spot, remember, future price is equals to spot into 1 plus Rn. That means as the spot price keeps changing, the future price will also keep changing, right? Now, just imagine this. Let's presume that market opens today. Then the Titan September future will open at 3201. September future, 3201. I buy this future. Let's presume I buy this future at 3201. Okay. Now, and at that, remember, simultaneously, the Titan stock would have opened at 3199. Right? Now, at 10:15, that is 15 minutes after I buy the future, right? Titan stock spot price becomes 3,300. Then do you think the September future will still be at 3,201? It will be maybe at 3,302 or something. Right? And at what price had I purchased the future? 3,200. And at 10:30, what is this future trading at? 3,302 something. I'll pick up the phone of the broker and say, well, your future मैंने खरीदा था ना 10 बजे. Sell it. Making a profit of roughly 100. Now understand, I'm not trading in stocks. I'm trading in futures. I'm trading in future. And this future is deriving its value from spot. Hence the word derivative. It derives its value from the underlying asset. Right? Now, that means if you're buying or selling, if you're trading in futures, do you need to know the volatility of the futures or do you need to know the volatility of the stock? You need to know the volatility of the stock. The stock kitna volatile, or basically you would need to do some kind of study on the standard deviation of the stock. How volatile is that stock over a given time frame, right? And based on that you trade. Now the question is, now I'm asking you some advanced question. This September future is trading at 3201, right? When would I buy this future? I mean, if my view is that the stock price is going to rise or the stock price is going to fall, when would I buy this future? Fall. मुझे अगर लगता है कि स्टॉक प्राइस ऊपर जाएगा तो मैं ये फ्यूचर बाय करूंगा, क्योंकि स्टॉक प्राइस ऊपर जाएगा तो फ्यूचर प्राइस भी ऊपर चले जाएगा. So I'll buy the stock. Okay. Now the question is, sir, तो फिर स्टॉक ही खरीद लेते ना. Why do so much headache? Future X is equal to this. Why not buy the stock only? Huh? Exactly. When you buy stock, you will have to shell out the entire money today. Whereas if I buy futures, what do I need to shell out today? Na. Recall our Forex lectures. Huh? Premium? No. Margin. Dekha, no one is revising, boss. You'll have to pay margin. But is margin my cost? Interest on margin is my cost. Right? Now, therefore, and now let us look at something interesting. Supposing there are two people, and this I don't know whether I explained it there. There are two people, Mr. A, Mr. B. Okay? Both of them, let's say, want to trade on Titan. Since we have seen the price now, Titan, jiska spot price, let's take some round figure, 3,200, right? And both of them think that the price of Titan is going to be 3,500 in, say, let's, or maybe we can take slightly bigger figure so you can understand what is happening. Let's say 3,900 in 1 year's time. Both of them have got this view, right? But Mr. A is totally ignorant about futures. And both of them have got, let's say, rupees 10 lakhs capital with them. Mr. A does not know anything about futures. So what will he do? He will buy stocks of Titan, right? How many stocks, quantity he will buy, given that the current price is 3,200? 3-1? Chalo. He will buy 312 shares of Titan. Now, Mr. B is a trader. He says, no, I won't buy the stock. I'll buy futures. Now, generally speaking, futures made the margin required to be paid is 10% of the exposure value. See, margin is like security deposit. No, so security deposit mein pura paisa thodi mangta koi. Right? Now, Mr. B decides to buy the future price, or I mean the future of Titan. Now, let us say the future of Titan is available at 3,600. Obviously, spot 3,200 है तो future तो 3,600 के आसपास मिलेगा maybe, right? So what Mr. B does is he buys the future at 3,600. Now, 1 minute. Mr. B is supposed to give 10% margin, right? So what Mr. B will tell is, Mr. B will go to the broker, give him the check of 10 lakhs and tell him, this is my margin, boss. 10 lakh is my margin. That means how much rupees worth of exposure I could take? 1 crore, right? So the broker will buy this futures worth 1 crore. How many futures will he buy? 1 crore divided by 3,600. Kitna? Huh? How much? 2,770. Right? इतना फ्यूचर खरीद लेंगे आज. अच्छा. Now time passes and we reach 31st December, end of 1 year, and the price has actually gone to 3,900. Right? Okay. Now, how much profit has Mr. A made? A purchased the stock at what price? 3,200. And the stock after 1 year is trading at 3,900. So he's making a profit of 700 into 312. 2,18,000. Acha. Now let us understand B ka. B had purchased the futures at 3,600. Now on the last day, this transaction has to be squared off, and it will be squared off at what price? 3,900. Sell, which means he'll make a profit of 300 on 2,778. How much? 8,33,400. Okay. Now, दोनों ने कितना पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया था? 10 lakhs. दोनों ने same stock खरीदा, and at the end of the year, the stock for both of them was only 3,900. Look at the profit B is, look at the ROI that B is making. 83%. And look at the ROI that A has made. 2,18,400 upon 10 lakhs. How much? 21.84%. 83%. One is dealing in stock, the other is. This is what makes futures attractive for traders. But then understand, this will work in loss in the same way. But then traders are people who are willing to take those losses, no? Right? This is what makes futures attractive. That is the reason why, when I told you that, boss, why not buy the stock? Well, if I'm a risk taker, I'll say, boss, forget the stock, let's play futures, no? I mean, दोनों का view क्या था? Mr. A and B, did they have different views about the stock price? No, both of them thought it will go to 3,900. Then why not do this? That is the attraction of futures. Right? Okay. Now, online, have you all got? Now, isme, of course, you might say, sir, we will have to deduct interest on margin. Okay, those are all semantics. Yeah, we can keep. इसमें अभी brokerage भी adjust करना पड़ेगा. बहुत सारे चीजें हैं. But at a gross level, तो मेरा इतना profit हो ही रहा है. Online, did you all roughly get this? We'll keep doing more about this. Chalo, and maybe in a couple of lectures, I'll show you actual trading screen where I'll show you how to execute this trade on futures. You want to buy something, right? How would you do it? Okay? Chalo. Now, let's. एक मिनट, ये लिख के हो गया स्टॉक का, स्टॉक फ्यूचर्स, एवरीथिंग इज रिटन, राइट? नाउ let's do something. There's the third one that we need to discuss, because if you remember, we have discussed about stock futures, we have discussed about commodity futures. There is this third one, but this is slightly complicated. Uske pehle, let's break this monotony of theory and maybe do one or two problems, and then we'll come to this. And एक काम करना, ये जो आपने you have written the stock futures, no? After that, leave about 4-5 lines. Leave. There we'll fill up the index futures ka whatever we need to write. Okay. Acha, if you buy futures or sell futures, do you necessarily need to wait till the expiry date to make money? No, because I mean, I buy the futures today, right? हो सकता है within half an hour the stock price jumps up, the future price will jump up. I'll square it off and get out. I don't need to wait till expiry. Okay. Okay, let's look at question. We'll just do a couple of questions and then we'll come back to discussions again. Oh, 1 minute. Where the hell is this? Spot price of Infosys is 2000 rupees. Interest rates prevailing is 14% per annum. Expected dividend after 2 months is 10 per share. Calculate what should be the expected price of Infosys today in the 3-month future price, 3-month future market. Karo calculate, I'll just, spot is given. R is given. And dividend is rupees 10 after 2 months. And N is 3 months. Sure. Calculate and let me know the answer, then I'll solve it. PV of dividend, that will be rupees 10 into 1 upon 1 plus 0.14 divided by 12 into 2. $9.77. Therefore, 3-month future price will be spot minus, if you want, if you want to write the expression, it's up to you. Spot minus PV of dividend into 1 plus Rn. So 2000 minus 9.77 into 1 plus 0.14 divided by 12 into 3. Point 0.14 divided by 4 plus 1 into 2000 minus 9.77. 2059.89. Achha, now this expression itself, future must be equal to spot into 1 plus Rn. Okay. Now, if I told you A must be equal to B, what if A is not equal to B? What will you do? Two things are supposed to be equal, but they are not. What do you do? Huh? Arbitrage. Don't let go of the basic Kamina Panti that should be in us. जैसे ही something should be equal, which is not arbitrage. It doesn't matter whether it's forex, stock, commodities, whatever. Equal होना चाहिए, नहीं है arbitrage. So, and that we will see. If F not equal to spot into 1 plus Rn, arbitrage will follow, and we'll see what arbitrage can be done. Okay. We'll work out sums and we'll see on the screen also whether arbitrage is possible or not. Chalo. Now, look at question 2. For X Limited, spot rate is 70. Continuous compounded rate of interest is 8%. Right? Tanmay, CCRI. Calculate price of future with 3-month expiry if the stock pays a dividend of 1.5. Now, the problem is they have not given a dividend kab aa raha hai. What will be the default assumption? End, no? Okay. But what we will do is we will solve the sum under all the 3 scenarios. Received at the beginning, end, and midterm. That midterm period I'll tell you. But in the exam, you can just take it at the end and solve it. Right? So let us say if dividend paid in advance. Advance मतलब at the beginning. Okay. चलो क्या होगा? Future price should be spot. अच्छा डिविडेंड पहले ही मिल रहा है तो spot minus dividend into e raised to the power r. Spot is 70 minus 1.5 into e raised to the power r. R is 0.08. N is 3/12. This would be 68.5 into e raised to 0.02. Now wait. ठीक है, इस केस में तो they have given it in the question. E raised to 0.02 is this, right? Last lecture, we calculator and log table both we saw, na? Acha, we haven't seen log table calculation. Okay, chalo, we'll do that today itself. Sometimes they could give the log values for this instead of giving the straight value. Right? Now, last lecture we saw that can you just verify whether this e raised to 0.02 on the calculator is actually 1.02020? Can you verify? E raised to 0.02 is nothing but 2.7183 raised to the power 0.02. ऑनलाइन बेटा आप एब्सेंट थे फॉरेक्स यू मिस्ड? हाँ बेटा आप थोड़ा उसको समझा दो ना वो कैल्सी में, अगर आपको हाँ I want you to tell me इसका वैल्यू e raised to 0.02, is it really this? Using the calculator, can you find the value of e raised to 0.02? उसको बता देना. Yes, it's 0. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, I knew it's right, but I just want you to revise that method again. And I think I also told you something, no? E raised to something. Yeah? Mika, yes. Period is less than 1 year. I'd also told something. E raised to something. 1 point something. So e raised to 0.02 should be 1.02. अब ये लोग क्या किया 1.02, 02, 01. अब तुम देते रहो ना मेरे को 1.02 से भी कम हो जाएगा. Less than 1 year. E raised to something is 1 point that something. So e raised to 0.02, and here period is 3 months. So e raised to 0.02 will be 1.02. ऑनलाइन वाले रुको, अभी इधर पूरा डिस्कशन चल रहा हो कैल्सी वाला मेथड. मैंने क्या बोला था, कैल्सी वाला मेथड घर पे प्रैक्टिस करोगे टिल यू गेट इट परफेक्ट. नाउ last lecture we still had time, now we don't have time because here 90% of the problem is going to involve this. So if you are going to get this delay, मैं तो आगे बढ़ते जाऊंगा बस. Right? Okay. And online people online, you also listen carefully. Practice this calculator method so that you get it fast, because as we go ahead in these problems, I'm going to use my financial calculator and solve. You need to be fast enough with your normal calci to get the answer. Otherwise, I will solve and keep going further. ठीक है? And आप लोग उसी में करते रहोगे तब तक मैं 2 सम सॉल्व कर चुका होगा. So you have got 1 day or 2 days. Muzammil, please show once again. What should I show once again? And why Muzammil? Why should I show once again? पिछले लेक्चर में बताया था, तब क्यों नहीं पूछा? Why did you not ask at that time? तो आप बोलोगे सर तभी समझ में आ गया था. तो इसका मतलब प्रैक्टिस नहीं किए इसलिए अभी नहीं आ रहा है. Muzammil, why do you want me to show it again? I will show it once again, but you tell me the reason. हाँ देखा, मैंने गिन गिन के बोला था प्रैक्टिस करो इसको. मैं आज लास्ट बार बोल रहा हूं एवरीवन, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू शो दिस एनी मोर. मैं एम्फोसिस करके टाइम वेस्ट करके बोल रहा हूं. आई विल नॉट शो दिस वंस मोर. बस अभी दिखा रहा हूं, उसके बाद मैं प्रॉब्लम करते जाऊंगा. आपको नहीं आता है आप जानो. दैट्स इट. ओके, यू गॉट 24 आवर्स. अपना अगला लेक्चर कल है. यू गॉट 24 आवर्स टू गेट योरसेल्फ इन प्लेस. ओके. See, e raised to 0.02 is 2.7183 raised to the power 0.02. Right? Now, Muzammil, ये follow करते जाओ. Square root 2.7183 12 times. -1. फिर जो भी नंबर है स्क्रीन पे मल्टीप्लाई with the power in this case being 0.02. Then reverse this, +1, and reverse this into equal to, press into equal to 12 times. Basically, we can write it as b raised to a square root b 12 times -1 multiply A plus 1 and into equal to 12 times. That's it. This is the last time I'm explaining this. And today I will teach you how to use log tables, right? I will not ask you to perfect the log table by tomorrow's lecture because we won't be needing it most likely. But after that, we'll be needing log tables. You will have about 4 days to get a grip on log. आज मैं पढ़ाऊंगा. उसके बाद I am not going to teach how to see every time value. I'll just take the value and solve. Because see, at that point, now my focus is on explaining something else. And उधर आप इस चीज और log से struggle कर रहे हो, then वो something else मैं कैसे समझाऊं? And that is important. This is not important. ये square root और ये option pricing is important, right? So log table I'll teach you today. You will have 2 or 3 days. Practice it, get a grip. उसके बाद I'm not going to explain this. Okay, so this would be 68.5 into 1.02020. 68.5 into 1.02020. That is 69.88. Okay, chalo. Then, and okay, last lecture, in fact, I told you also that this thing, make a note in the textbook, not in the notebook, textbook. कहीं पे इसको note करके रखो. Okay, let's look at question. हाँ, कौन सा बाकी है? हाँ, okay, sorry, we were supposed to do 3 situations, no? Okay, if dividend paid in arrears, then future would be spot into year end minus dividend. So spot is 70 into e raised to 0.02 minus 1.5. So 70 into 1.02020 minus 1.5. into 1.02020 minus 1.5. Okay, 69.9. Okay, and so if dividend was paid midterm, say after 2 months, इसका बताओ क्या होगा, फिर मैं सॉल्व कर. I guess it was not recorded. नहीं मुजम्मिल, रिकॉर्ड हुआ रहेगा, मैंने बीच में किया था. कोई बात नहीं, चल आज मिल गया, प्रैक्टिस कर. Sujita, I forgot to keep checking. I forget to keep checking with you. You're following? Hindi, English. Oh, yes. Check. Sonal says 69.90. Hmm? 89 something? एक minute. See, first of all, PV of dividend. Right? This will be 1.5 dividend into 1 upon e raised to 0.08 after 2 months, 2 by 12. So this would be 0.08 divided by 6 plus 1 divided by into 1.5. 1.48. Therefore, futures is equals to spot minus 1.48, that's PV of dividend, into e raised to 0.08 3 by 12. Right? This will be 68.52 into e raised to 0.02. $69.90. कौन सा फॉर्मूला? एक मिनट क्या 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 हाँ 1 plus r कैसे कर सकते हो? You are compounding it continuously, then the discounting also has to be continuous, no? See, what is discounting? आप यहां का अमाउंट के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट चढ़ाते हो और उसको फ्यूचर वैल्यू में लेके जाते हो. एक मिनट, 1 upon 1 plus r. एक मिनट रुको. आप यहां का अमाउंट प्रिंसिपल को इंटरेस्ट चढ़ा के फ्यूचर में लेके जाते हो. नाउ प्रेजेंट वैल्यू में क्या करते हो? वही फ्यूचर वैल्यू को इधर लाना है. नाउ अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग. यहां से यहां लेते जाते समय आप कंटिन्यूअस कंपाउंडिंग यूज कर रहे हो, तो उधर से इधर लाने के लिए भी तो आपको कंटिन्यूअस लाना पड़ेगा, वरना टैली कैसे होगा? राइट? तो अगर आप कंपाउंडिंग यहां पे कंटिन्यूअस करने वाले हो, तो कोई भी चीज डिस्काउंटिंग करेंगे तो वो भी तो कंटिन्यूअस ही करना पड़ेगा. तो यू कैन यूज 1 upon 1 plus r. नाउ यू विल से सर मैथमेटिकली तो ये तो सेम ही आ जाएगा. नहीं, जब पीरियड बड़ा होगा ना तो कंटिन्यूअस कंपाउंडिंग का इंपैक्ट गिरेगा. सी, कंटिन्यूअस कंपाउंडिंग क्या बोलता है? इट इज कंपाउंडिंग एवरी ट्रिलियंथ ऑफ अ सेकेंड. बट आप पीरियड ही कंसिडर कर रहे हो 3 महीने का. आप 3 महीने में कितना इंपैक्ट हो जाएगा? लेकिन मैं बोलूं 15 साल, तो फर्क पड़ेगा कि नहीं कंपाउंडिंग का? राइट? तो यू कैंट यूज व्हेन यू आर कंपाउंडिंग कंटिन्यूअसली, डिस्काउंटिंग आल्सो हैज टू बी कंटिन्यूअस. हाँ, वो हल्का सा फर्क आएगा, बिकॉज फाइनली क्या है, ट्रिलियंथ ऑफ सेकंड वगैरह की बात कर रहे हैं. सो यू विल गेट माइनर डिफरेंस, बट एज द पीरियड गेट्स लॉन्गर, द डिफरेंस वुड टेंड टू बिकम लार्जर एंड लार्जर. ओके
सर, वो जो प्रेजेंटेशन में 0.02 बाय है ना,
कौन सा?
जो
हाँ, यस, 2 by 12. Okay, sure. Now let's look at not 3. Let's look at 4. हाँ ये तो 3 है. 4. The current price of cotton is 400 per bale. Okay. Bale is a bundle of cotton. The storage cost is rupees 100 per bale per year, payable in arrears. Last May. That means storage cost pay, there'll be no interest, right? Assuming that interest rates are 10% per annum CCRI, calculate the 1-year future price per bale of cotton. Now, future price will be spot. Storage तो बाद में है, तो spot into, into continuous compounding है, e raised to Rn and minus storage plus storage. Spot is 400 into e raised to R is 0.10, right? And n will be 12. Don't get into this habit of 1. Always make this habit of 12 by 12. The reason is, now we all know that futures and options generally are traded for 3 months, 4 months and all, right? तो ये 1 डालने का आदत है ना, तो कभी वो 3 month future में आप 3 डाल दोगे. Make this a habit of 3 by 12, 12 by 12, 24, even if it's for 2 years, make it a habit of writing 24 by 12. So that वो divide by 12 वो by default आपका practice हो जाए. Okay? 12 by 12, that's 1, plus storage, 100. So 400, and they have given the value of 1.1052 plus 100. $542.08. Okay. Now, see, we have solved very basic sums of stock futures and commodity futures. But a basic sum solved here, right? Index future is still left, but before we get into index futures, do you remember where did I tell you that commodity futures are traded? MCX and NCDX, right? Now, let's do something. Let's go to NCDX, National Commodities and Derivative Exchange. Okay. Okay. Oh, now. क्या दिख रहा है? जीरा November 23 futures, right? Jeera October 23, Jeera September 23, turmeric. Okay, I mean these are just some representative. If you really get into this, 1 minute. There must be price. ये price scroll क्यों नहीं हो रहा है इनका? ये रहा, हाँ. See the price, that scrolling thing. Huh? Cottonseed all cake, dhania. Dhania is not that hara dhania. No, the seed, coriander seed, dried. Right? Guar gum. Right? And you see the 20th October, 20th November. Now these are the future prices. Guar's gum, guar seeds. You'll get everything. Chana dal, tuar dal, mustard, castor seeds, soya bean, right? Cotton. everything would come here. Now, this price, say for Guarsi 20th November, right now, which is scrolling on the screen, right? You see this? I've frozen it 6540, right? This is the future price of November 23. November, matlab, this is September beginning. So we can almost say September, October, November 20th, almost 3 months. This is the price. What would be the basis of this price? कैसे calculate हुआ रहेगा? Spot to 1 plus R storage. This is the price at which it's trading. You see this Jira, sorry. Jira 20th October, 20th November. You see this Kapas, steel, right? Turmeric, farmer polished, and you get all the rates. You can trade in all. Now the thing is, see this castor seeds. We'll see how we can use this for trading, speculation, or hedging. Okay. Now, the thing is, in equity market, you do you remember you saw the equity derivatives, SLV? You had the spot market, futures derivatives market, and SLV segment. Here in commodities, on this screen, you will only have the derivative market, not the spot market. Right? Now, the reason is, see, in equity, if I want to buy stocks spot, right, I'll just pay money of 2 lakhs and the shares will be credited to my Demat account. But in commodities, if I want to buy spot 20,000 tons of wheat, you really think I can give money and take 20,000 wheat and 20,000 kgs of wheat and go? So, iska jo spot market hota hai, the spot market of commodities is what we call as mandi. Mandi, right? And every commodity has mandi at different locations, meaning Jeera has got its mandi at Unjha, Rajasthan, right? Soya has got its mandi at Indore. Okay, every commodity, chili, red chili has got its mandi at Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. Every commodity has different spot markets, right? So if you want to derive this future market, what you will have to do is call up someone in the spot market there, check the price, calculate this. Whereas in equity, what did we do? We just switched the tab, no? We went to equity, checked the price, came to future, and did this. Right? Now, okay. But prices of agro products are regulated. No, Muzammil. Only prices of sugar is regulated. And you will notice, sugar does not trade here. Because understand, for anything to trade in capital market, what is the essential word in capital market? Capital. Free economy. It can't be regulated or controlled. Therefore, no controlled commodity will be traded here. Sugar. Sugar is a controlled commodity. Prices are fixed by the government. वो trade नहीं होगा. And Muzammil, what gave you the idea that prices of agro products are regulated? Who told you this? Agro products. Agro product matlab Muzammil, 1 minute. What kind of products are you referring to? Can you tell me that? Which product are you? Can you give me an example of an agro product that you are referring to? चना दाल, बीच में तो चना दाल का भाव 100 रुपए के ऊपर हो गया था, है? कौन सा प्रोडक्ट रेगुलेटेड है? कोई प्रोडक्ट रेगुलेटेड नहीं है भैया. इट्स अ फ्री मार्केट दैट वी लिव इन. हाँ, शुगर वुगर रेगुलेटेड है. हाँ हाँ, ये अलग अलग कमोडिटीज के अलग अलग ये होंगे. बट जनरली यस. Is tomato also listed on NCDX? Atharva, perishable commodities will never be traded in the commodity markets. At least in India. Sorry, in India. Later on time milega, so I will show you the Chicago Board of Trades where perishables are traded. Pineapples, oranges, cheese. They are traded. But in India, they are not traded. Tomatoes नहीं trade होते. और ये सब आप देख रहे हो, they're all dry spices. Chana, and that's why dhania also I said not the hara dhania. coriander seeds. You'll have cardamom, elaichi, सब trade होंगे, but not tomatoes. Acha, by the way, why are tomatoes not traded? Perishable. So, how is it that US is trading in that? तो उनके लिए भी तो टोमेटो पेरिशेबल है, तो उनके पास ऐसा क्या है दैट वी डोंट हैव राइट नाउ? हाँ हाँ, good supply chain. When you mean by good supply chain, part cold storage facilities. And India has been encouraging this for a long time. Do you remember Section 35 AD income tax incentive for setting up warehousing, cold storage? Okay. Now, do you recollect this huge roads being built, right now? Highways, right? Now understand. Cold storage facilities across the national highways and good national highways where big trucks can move. Now what will happen? Tomatoes grown in south can be stored and sold in Himachal Pradesh. And then futures of those will be traded. And that is the whole idea behind this infrastructure development. A cold storage facility, warehousing, highways. Whoa. Acha. US, if you have seen the average size of the trucks, they are double or triple the size of Indian trucks. That's because their roads are wide, right? When those big trucks can move. Now understand, the advantage of those big trucks is cost. In one truck, you can move triple the quantity that you can move in India. But उतना बड़ा ट्रक्स इंडिया में आ सकते हैं, पर आने के लिए प्रीरिक्विजिट क्या है? तो बिग रोड्स वेयर दे कैन टर्न, उसके लिए वो चाहिए. अच्छा, वो रहने से भी होगा नहीं, बिकॉज अ ट्रक विल हैव, one truck can possibly travel from say Delhi to Mumbai without those tomatoes perishing. After that, it has to be stored, right? तुमको मुंबई में you'll have to need the cold storage facility. अच्छा, मुंबई से शायद वो जाएगा बैंगलोर तक, उसके बाद it has to be stored. You would need cold storage there. फिर बैंगलोर से वो कन्याकुमारी जाएगा, उधर cold storage चाहिए आप. जब तक ये नहीं होगा तब तक ये नहीं होगा, ये ट्रेडेबल इन पेरिशेबल. ठीक है, चलो, इसमें will come later when we do advanced problems, will come later. Now we need to discuss a complicated thing, which is index futures. Index futures is slightly complicated. Now, what we all know, what is an index? Okay, what is an index? Nifty. No, that's Nifty. I mean, you can say that index is also Sensex. Okay. What does an index number represent? What does an index represent? Whole set of portfolio. That set of 50 stocks. Okay. So as of today, Nifty is 19819. You can see it right at the top. 19819. That's Nifty. So what does this number tell you? 19879 market cap. Okay. 18879. So I mean, this is like same thing. Sir, that car is traveling at 60 kilometers. So what do I do with that information? What does this number tell you? 19819. Understand, this Nifty is basically an index number. It's an index number. And what do index numbers tell you? Capital gains में क्या पढ़ा था? Index numbers. क्या बताते हैं? What does an index number tell you? When they say that the index, CII index for 2023-24 is 379. What does that tell you? It tells you that something which was worth 100 in the base year is today worth 379. Same way, 19819 tells you that something which was worth 100 in the base year. Now, Nifty ka base year, if I remember right, is 91, 92. That's the base year. something which was worth a portfolio which was considered to be 100 is today worth 19,819. Or in other words, if you had notionally invested 100 rupees in those stocks on that day, that would be worth 19,819 today, that entire basket of portfolio. That's what this tells you. It's with reference to a base year. Okay? Okay. Now, one more thing. When I selected Titan, right? You are seeing three segments: equity, derivatives, and SLV, right? Now let me do something. Let me search Nifty here. Under Nifty, do you see equity, derivatives, SLV? You only see derivatives. That means only this index options and index futures will be traded. And if you remember, when I selected Titan, it showed you stock futures, stock options. Now it's showing index futures, index options. Okay. But right now, just remember one thing. Nifty, there is no spot market. Equity, I mean, there was a spot market, no? Equity, right? Nifty, there is no spot market. There is only a derivatives market. I'm emphasizing on this word market, right? Remember this. Now, instead of, see, we all know that Reliance, HDFC, etc. form a part of Nifty, right? Which means if Reliance, HDFC, SBI, Titan, etc. all go up, then Nifty would also go up. Now, if you think that Reliance, HDFC, SBI, etc. will go up, then you can do two things. One, you can buy stocks of Reliance, HDFC, whatever, or you can buy futures of Reliance, HDFC, whatever. Abhi maine dikhaya tha na? Or else, third thing, instead of buying stocks or futures of individual stock, place a bet that Nifty will go up. And the analogy for this is India-Pakistan match. You can place a bet Virat will score 100 or Sachin will score 100 or whoever will score 100. Or instead, you can place a bet India will score 300. Now, which is more risky? Individual stock, because there you are betting on that particular player to perform. But ho sakta hai, he may not perform. Some other player scores, but India still scores 300. That means it's much safer to bet on India, right? Similarly, rather than betting on HDFC and SBI, I might bet on Nifty. Because if Nifty goes up, then automatically one of these would have gone up, no? Right? But understand, this is less riskier. That means what? Less returns. So आपको कहीं ना कहीं तो compromise करना पड़ेगा, right? So now we are saying that instead of betting on stocks, let's bet on this number. But the problem is, imagine this: you are sitting in a cricket stadium, right? And the scoreboard is right in front of you, right? And the scoreboard is already showing 200. And remember, when you're betting on Nifty, are you betting on a stock or are you betting on a number? You're betting on a number. This is like betting on a score. Score is just a number, right? Unlike stock, stock has got a physical existence. This has got no physical existence. It's only a number, right? Now, you are sitting in a cricket stadium and the scoreboard is big scoreboard, visible right in front of you. And it says 200, right? Can you go to someone and say, boss, I want to buy that 200? Or I want to place a bet that India will score more than 200. Oh, bolega, boss, what is there to bet? It is there, no? You tell me in another 2 hours, how much will India score? Don't tell me what it is right now, right? But can you ignore what is the score right now? Suppose India has scored 50. Will you place a bet that it will score 600 by the end of the day? No. But if India has already scored 400, can you place a bet that India will score 600? That means the bet you are going to place is dependent on that number. But remember, you can't trade on that number. Right? Nifty 19819 is the Nifty as of today. You can use that number for placing a bet on the future Nifty, but you can't trade on 19819. Right? Which means, can you trade on spot Nifty? Can you trade on Nifty derivative futures? And that is why when you look at the screen, you don't see spot in Nifty at equity. Nifty में you can only trade in futures. But future का price कैसे derive होगा? Based on spot. But the technique of finding the future price for Nifty is slightly different from stocks. Okay, now let's understand that. So अभी एक चीज तो आपको पता चल गया कि भैया निफ्टी का spot will not be traded. Okay, now understand this. Let's say I have two sets of investor. Okay, investor A, investor B. Right? Both of them have got, let us say, 10 lakh rupees of capital, and both of them have a bullish view. Now, new term. What's a bullish view? The price, I think the price will go up. What's the opposite of this? Bearish view. Now, familiar, keep rotating this term. Both of these investors have got a bullish view on the market. Okay, that means they will all want to buy stocks now. Now, I'm the financial advisor to both of them. So I tell A that, boss, look, you want to build a diversified portfolio, no? So then do something. You buy all the 50 stocks of Nifty, right, in the same proportion as those stocks have got weightage in Nifty. Meaning, if Reliance has got a weightage of 10% in Nifty, then remember Mr. A wants to invest 10 lakh rupees. 10% of 10 lakhs, 1 lakh rupees worth of Reliance he will buy. So same way, he will construct the portfolio, right? Today worth 10 lakhs. Today, it's worth today 1 lakh. Now, I just now told you that Nifty cannot be traded in spot. Okay? Okay. For a moment, hypothetically, let us presume that Nifty can be traded spot. Okay. So I tell B, boss, A is a fool. He has done 50 transactions. Right? Instead of doing those 50 transactions, why don't you do something? Why don't you just buy that Nifty number? Now you say, sir, abhi to aapne bola Nifty. Main bola na, hypothetically, let us presume this can be bought. Right? Which means Mr. B will buy Nifty worth 10 lakhs. And understand, Nifty is an exact representation of these 50 stocks, which means as on day one, these two portfolios are equal. Acha. Now, I go to this Mr. A and I tell him, boss, can you do me a small favor? You have the spot prices of all this, no? Huh? Can you do me a small favor? Can you calculate the 3-month future price of all these stocks? Now, Mr. A will say, fine, sir, no problem. All I need is R, right? And all I need is the dividends of these individual stock. So he will estimate the dividend of all these stock, use R and find the future price. Now I go to B and I said, look, boss, Sharma ji ka beta A ne future ka price nikal diya hai. Can you also calculate the future price for me based on what you have? He has this, right? So now he will say, sir, simple, na? Spot Nifty into 1 plus Rn. I'll say, no, boss, understand. These guys, when they calculated the future price, no, they have reduced dividends. The reason is, in the persons holding the stock will receive physical cash dividend. रोकड़े में मिलेगा, 2 रुपया, 1 रुपया, right? But have you purchased stock? Has Mr. D purchased stocks? Is he a shareholder in a company? Will he receive dividend? No. But then, isn't the value of this basket comprising the value of the stocks? Value of the basket is from the stocks. But when calculating stock, you have adjusted dividend. Therefore, for calculating the future price of Nifty, you will have to adjust dividend. Because finally, ये दोनों का value तो same ही होना चाहिए ना, right? Okay, तो इसका मतलब sir, you are saying spot plus interest, and we have to reduce the dividend. But sir, I have not received dividend because I am not a shareholder. I purchased Nifty. I say, okay, you have not received dividend is fine. But then remember, when you calculate this future price, this since spot was equal to spot, then this future must be equal to future, right? So dividend तुमको adjust तो करना पड़ेगा. Okay, now understand there is another problem. Mr. B will say, sir, Mr. A's case was very simple. For example, Reliance was, let's say, 1,000 rupees spot. And on this, he received 10 rupees dividend. Now remember, this is rupees. And he received 10 rupees dividend. Dono are in rupees. So 1,000 minus 10, and he applied the rate of interest and found this. But sir, my Nifty is not rupees. This Nifty value, 19,700, that's not rupees. That's just a number. Number one. Number two, sir, he has received rupees 10. I have not even received it. So how do I incorporate that? How will you incorporate that now? You have not received individual this thing. Now understand, I'm not talking about futures. I'm generally saying future price is equals to spot minus dividend into 1 plus Rn. यही होगा ना? Huh? But in this case, there's no dividend. Okay. Now I have to adjust this dividend somewhere. Now you tell me, in this formula, this is not there. Where can I adjust dividend now? One thing is very clear, I can't adjust it from spot. No, Muzammil, अभी तो बोला मैंने, spot में adjust ही नहीं कर सकता हूं, because spot is 19,719. उसमें से dividend कैसे adjust करोगे? So, okay, what are the other terms left for you to adjust spot, adjust dividend? R, N. Can you adjust dividend from N? What is the only term left for you to adjust dividend? R. But then R is a percentage. Whereas the dividend here received is rupees. Can you adjust rupees from percentage? From a percentage, you'll have to adjust percentage only. So what percentage will you adjust now? Dividend? Dividend percentage. Can we get a better name for that? Dividend? Dividend? Huh? A minute. Not amount invested. What is the average dividend you are getting from a stock, and what is its current market price? What is that called? Dividend yield. Understand, you will calculate dividend yield. Now you'll say, sir, how can we calculate dividend yield? Very simple. You have 50 stocks. On each of the 50 stock, you know how much dividend you are getting. And for each of the 60 stocks, you know the current market price. So can't you calculate the average dividend yield? The sum total of the dividend received upon the total market cap will give you the average dividend yield on these numbers. And remember, finally, it is these stocks which comprise the basket. Right? So what we can do is we can calculate the dividend yield and adjust it from R, which means, can I now express this as one plus Rn? Now I am saying no, not R, R minus D. Acha, now I'll get to this logic again. Now suppose it was continuous compounding. अभी इसका और एक लॉजिक समझो. What impact does dividend have on the future price? Does it reduce the future price or does it increase the future price? Dividend. Huh? Increase or decrease? Decrease. And increase. 1 minute. When you calculate the future price, what do? Spot minus PV of dividend और उसके ऊपर interest. ये dividend नहीं होता तो your future price would have been higher. But because of this dividend, your future price is reducing. That means dividend has the impact of reducing the future price. Right. Now you see this. Supposing there was no dividend and 10% was the rate of interest. So, and let's say spot was 100. What would you have done? 100 into 1.10. You would have got 110. But now I'm saying, no. 2% is the dividend yield. Right? What would you do? 100, 1 plus 0.1 minus कितना आएगा? See that? Dividend has the impact of reducing the future price. Right? But यहाँ पे we need to be adjusting the dividend yield. And the reason I've told you, stock may you receive actual dividend, but in Nifty, you're not dealing in stocks, physical stocks, so you don't receive physical dividend. But because dividend has the impact of reducing the future price, you need to incorporate dividend into the equation. And since you are getting it only as a percentage, you adjust it from R. ये है आपका index futures. I told you to leave some space, no? Write this down there. Mehika, yes. Right now, let's ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 किया था ना लास्ट. Let's go to question number 3 now. Stock index currently stands at 3,500. Actually, this should not be rupees. Stock index, there's no rupees. Stock index stands at 3,500. The risk-free interest rate is 8% per annum. And the dividend yield on the index is 4% per annum. Calculate the 4-month index futures if the rate of 8% is CCRI, continuously compounded. Can you find it? 3546.9. Okay. Now, what we have done is basically, we have covered stock, commodity, index, right? But what we have done is just the basic understanding of the formula. So you would be very fortunate if any of these sums come in the exam. हाँ, ये सब आने वाला नहीं है. Okay, this is just that you get the pricing. How many months index is traded in futures? Okay. Muzammil, everyone, I'll give you time. Chalo, abhi Muzammil says how many months index futures is traded, right? Take out your mobiles, go to NSE website, right? And have a look for yourself and tell me कि निफ्टी कितने महीने का फ्यूचर्स ट्रेड होता है. NSE website, not Google general query. NSE website. What will you do? You'll go to NSE website, search by company, just search Nifty. And then in the select instruments, you'll select Muzammil. What was your query? Index futures, right? Yes. 3 months. Understand, Muzammil, everyone. Spoon feeding ka zamana khatam hoga abhi, right? And now dhire dhire I'll tell all of you to do things. So stock futures, 3 months. Index futures, 3 months. What about currency futures? Huh? See that? Now you don't need to memorize it. You know it. अब आपको ये visual screen ही याद आएगा आपके दिमाग में. You don't need to ratify. ये 12 महीने का, ये 3 महीने का है. Currency futures is for 12 months. अच्छा, even this here, अरे कहाँ गया यार? You see this? The price यहाँ पे इधर besides that Nifty value 19819, what is that? USD INR. Unlike what is taught to us, rupee dollar. How would you read this? Not the way the institute teaches us, 1 rupee equal to 82. Left to right, $1 equals to so many rupees. This is how it is. But anyway, chalo. Okay, 5 minutes, and then we'll dhire dhire get into these advanced problems. Okay, just 5 minutes and then we'll see. In commodity market, good news is bad news. That means if you read an article in the newspaper saying India has bumper crop of wheat this time, that means wheat का supply बहुत ज्यादा होने वाला है, the price will crash. Good news is bad news. And let's say drought in Africa, coffee crops destroyed. Good news, price ऊपर जाएगा. Right? Commodity markets में it functions the other way around. And commodity markets is more trickier than stocks, because in stock, you just need to focus on that company and on that industry maybe. But when you're dealing in commodities, say like coffee, you need to know what is the output of coffee in Karnataka, India, Cuba, Africa, what is happening everywhere. You need to know, because stocks are very localized, right? I mean, do you really think that a trader in, say, Romania would be interested in knowing what is happening in TCS here? No. But then, if he is a trader in coffee, he'll definitely be interested in knowing what is the output of coffee, because he would be an importer or an exporter, na? Right? I mean, just imagine if you are exporting coffee to Cuba, wouldn't you be interested in keeping a track of the Cuban market? Udhar coffee production kya ho raha hai, nahi ho raha hai? That means traders in commodities have to keep a global view rather than a localized view. So that's more trickier, right? Okay, chalo. Now, do oils get traded? Yes, Mihika, crude and Brent do get traded in the MCX. And I would request all of you, मैंने 3 साइट, I mean 2 साइट तो बता ही दिया है, NCDX, NSE, explore the website. They have a lot of download sections, whatever. Just keep exploring, na, read. I mean, there's no fees, there's no login, nothing. It's all there. Just explore. I mean, you may not understand all of it, but okay, you can keep asking me. Huh? Hmm? Huh? Yeah. हाँ, तो वही तो खेला है. Remember that the first thing I told in maybe I don't know whether SFM is all about R. Finance is all about R, right? R का ही तो खेला है. And in fact, you know what? Okay, now I'll tell you something related to our syllabus. In real life, we don't apply this formula to determine future price. We apply this formula to determine R. Future price is available from the screen. Spot price is available from the screen. N is known, right? So I will take future price from the screen, spot price from the screen, N is known. I will apply it in this formula and see what is the R that is being generated, right? If I see that the R being given in the future market is 10%, then you know what I'll do? Take an OD from bank. Banks may, okay, now this is useful for arbitrage. Keep this in mind. Generally, in banks, when you place an FD, what rate of interest do you get? 7%. And do you all know that you can have a overdraft facilities against those FDs at 1% over the FD rate? Right? Which means you can avail OD at 8%. Right. Now, I take the future price, spot price, put it in this formula and see that this market is giving me 10% R. What should I do? Borrow from OD and put it here. Now, we'll see how we do that arbitrage. Right? Now here, am I arbitraging on price or am I arbitraging on R? Exactly. Acha, a stock in BSE is trading at 100 rupees and the same stock is trading at 120. What will you do? Buy at 100, sell at 120. Are you trading on price or are you trading at R, on R? गलत. R. एक मिनट. आप लोग का वैल्यूएशन ऑफ स्टॉक हुआ है ना? राइट. डी को के से डिस्काउंट करते हो. लेट्स से एक पर्टिकुलर आर आपने यूज किया 8% और इसके वजह से प्राइस 100 आ रहा है. डिविडेंड तो कंपनी का रफली सेम ही होगा, राइट? नाउ दिस इज लेट अस से ऑन बीएससी. एनएससी में डी तो सेम है लेकिन इधर प्राइस 120 आ रहा है, तो क्या डिफरेंट है? आर. तो जब आप यहां से लेके उधर ले रहे हो, आर यू ट्रेडिंग ऑन द डिफरेंशियल इन आर और डिफरेंशियल इन प्राइस? आर। अंडरस्टैंड, एसएफएम पूरा आर का खेला है, और ये मैंने पहले लेक्चर में बताया था। एसएफएम इज ऑल अबाउट आर, वॉट एवर यू डू इट्स अबाउट आर. Now you say, sir, how does that guy determine R? Now that guy is also a human being, a chartered accountant like you, right? So how does he determine R? बताओ. उसका नहीं, उसका देयर वुड बी सम कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल, सम रिक्वायर्ड रेट ऑफ रिटर्न, उसका कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा ना. तो तुम्हारा भी होगा, तुम डिटरमाइन करो अपने हिसाब से, and that will tell you whether it's overpriced or underpriced according to you. Yes, cost of capital expectation, right? Acha, future price is available on the screen, spot price is available on the screen, N is there. तो तुम्हारा रोल क्या है? The better you predict R, the better the profits you can make, and the better your salary. Finally, it's all R. ठीक है. अच्छा, आप लोग का क्या क्या चैप्टर हुआ है? वैल्यूएशन ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज हुआ है, राइट? उसमें द यू यूज्ड टू डिटरमाइन द प्राइस डी अपॉन के. अच्छा, कैपिटल बजटिंग हुआ है? नहीं, इंटर में भी नहीं था ना. तो हाउ डिड यू कैलकुलेट द प्रेजेंट, आई मीन कैपिटल बजटिंग, व्हाट इज इट दैट यू यूज्ड टू डू? डिस्काउंट द कैश फ्लो. हाउ डिड यू, सो फाइनली हाउ वुड यू डिटरमाइन दैट दिस प्रोजेक्ट इज एक्सेप्टेबल और नॉट? एनपीवी इज पॉजिटिव. सो तुम्हारा एनपीवी पॉजिटिव आ रहा है, लेकिन मेरा एनपीवी नेगेटिव आ रहा है फॉर द सेम प्रोजेक्ट. व्हाई? राइट. अच्छा, वैल्यूएशन ऑफ बॉन्ड्स की हो, हाउ डू यू डिटरमाइन द प्राइस ऑफ अ बॉन्ड? Discounting the cash flow, R, right? Foreign exchange की है, right? How do you determine the forward price of a foreign currency? R. Interest rate, R, again R, right? How do you determine the future price of anything? F is equals to S into 1 plus R. Now why should the future price as per you and as per me differ? Spot price तो same है. Why is it differing? R. You take any chapter, F finance is all about R. कोई भी chapter ले लो, it's about R. The moment you understand this, you will know your role, responsibility, and even in question, what is it that you're required to solve. ठीक है, चलो.
Sir, sir, I could not get the index futures about dividend because we are not receiving the dividend.
But
Still,
while
we are
calculating the
getting-
future price of dividend, future price of index, do you need to adjust the dividend?
Yes,
You would need, no, because finally, what is index futures? It is a representative of 50 stocks.
yes,
So this is equal to this.
yes,
If you are calculating the future price of stock by reducing dividend, then you arrive at some future price of stocks.
yes,
Then if you calculate the future price of index, you will have to reduce dividend. Otherwise, this will not be equal to this.
but sir, we are not receiving the dividend.
हाँ, तो इसीलिए तो मैं R से एडजस्ट कर रहा हूं.
Okay,
That is why I'm
Okay, sir.
reducing, because I mean, do you agree or not agree that we have to reduce R while calculating index futures?
yes, sir.
क्यों?
To
क्यों?
match the index price.
Exactly,
Sorry, the
because
individual
finally
price.
the value of the basket must be equal to the value of the stocks, whether you're talking about the spot market or the future price. This value must be equal to this. So while calculating this, if you are reducing dividend, then while calculating this, you will have to adjust the dividend somewhere, no? Otherwise, this will not be equal to this.
Got
क्या?
it, sir.
नहीं?
समझा सर, समझा.
हाँ, समझा ना? हाँ, चल. Now, let's look at question 5. नहीं, questions. 5. On 31/7/2017, the value of stock index is 2,600. The risk-free return is 9% per annum. Dividend yield on the stock index is as follows. Okay, this is the dividend yield. Now understand, every month there is a different yield, dividend yield. And this is how it works in real life, because how do you calculate dividend yield? Dividend paid by the company upon the market price. And in case of index, dividend paid by all the companies in the index divided by the market cap of all those companies. Now, theoretically speaking, would all the companies declare dividend on the same month, same date? Koi interim dega, koi final dega, and the dates would be different. That means, technically speaking, dividend yield would be different in every month. Maybe in 1 month, out of those 50 companies, 20 companies have declared dividend. Then the dividend yield for that month would be different. Next month, different. So here they are saying that the dividend yield for January is 2%. Now remember, when they are saying dividend yield for January is 2%, they are saying dividend yield for January is 2% per annum. For January, it's 2% per annum. Feb, March, April, they have given. Okay. Now they are saying on 31/7/2017. Yahan. है ना? This is 2,600 index. Okay. Now they are saying, assuming that interest is continuously compounded. Now the risk-free interest is 9%, but they are saying this is CCRI. What will be the future price of contract deliverable on 31st December? Right? मतलब आप यहां खड़े हो और आपको फ्यूचर प्राइस इसका निकालना है. Now in that case, remember, when I'm standing here and I want a future price of there, then remember, all the dividends here don't matter. पीछे का dividend don't matter. That means irrelevant. ठीक है? अब I will tell you how the institute has solved, and I'll tell you how we really solve it in the real world. दोनों का answer same आएगा. The answer will be the same, but the implications are different. I'll tell you first how the institute has solved. See, in this case, what is the spot? 2,600. Okay. What is R? 9% CCRI, right? Okay. What is N? 5 months. Now, what is D? N is 5 months. Ye. So, what is D? Yes. कि बेटा क्या बोला आपने? Institute has done average. There's no weight. Institute has done an average. Okay. After I solve it the institute's way, I'll tell you how it's really solved. What the institute has done is, dividend yield is 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2. 5. कितना? 3.2. Per annum है. Therefore, future price is equals to 2,600 spot into continuous compounding है E raised to R 0.09 minus 0.032 per annum है दोनों into 5 by 12, right? So how much does this come? They have given 1.0245. 2,600 into E 0.09 minus 0.032 into 5 divided by 12. 0.02 417 और उसका वैल्यू और से 1.0245 दिया ही होगा। और ये नहीं भी दिया होता, e raised to 0.02417 would be 1.024, उतना तो 3-4 डिजिट तक तो कर ही सकते हैं। ओके, 2600 into 1.0245 2 now in real life what we do is I will stand in October and value the September, August. I mean, I'll stand in August beginning, and I'll value the August end futures. Then using that, I will use September and so on. The final value which I will arrive for December will still be 2663.7, right? But then individual months would differ. See, this is like, you know, that one example which I give, I don't know whether I've given it here. Let's say Mumbai to Pune, 240 kilometers, right? And you reach in 4 hours. What is the average speed you have done? 60 kilometers. But Mumbai to Lonavala, you reach in 1 hour, which is, say, Lonavala is about 160 kilometers, right? And then you spend 2 hours in Lonavala, right? And then you reach, let's say this is 7, this is 11, and you reach at 11. Okay? Now tell me, have you broken the speed limit of 60 anywhere? Yes, you have. See, yahan se yahan you have reached in 1 hour, no? 80 kilometers. But when you look at it as a whole, 7 बजे निकला, 11 बजे पहुंचा, 4 घंटा, 240 किलोमीटर, 60. Average distorts the reality, right? So when I'm dealing with a monthly changing yield, okay, if I take the average, I might end up at the final answer, which is the same. But then my intermittent fluctuation, especially if I'm a trader. See, if I'm a trader, am I interested in the final destination or am I also interested in the intermittent fluctuations? I'm interested in the intermittent fluctuations also. So I would need to know कि बॉस ये अगस्त वाला सितंबर में कितना जाएगा, क्योंकि for all I know, अगर मुझे सितंबर में बेच के ज्यादा प्रॉफिट मिल रहा है, then why should I hold it till December? Right? So for me, it becomes important August to September, September to October, October to November, November to December. Final answer would still be the same. Right? So in that case, I mean, I'm just showing you one number. Say I will calculate first August end futures. Right? Now, for calculating August end, I will take the spot at the beginning of August. That's 2,600 into E raised to R. R is 0.9. But remember, now I'm just dealing with August 1. What is my dividend yield in August? 0.05 into 1 by 12. This will give me some number. Then for September end, this number into E raised to 0.09 minus whatever the dividend yield for September, 0.02, 1 by 12 equals to. Now the final answer which I'll come for December end will still be 2663.7. Right? This technique is called dovetailing. Dovetailing is basically linking it like a chain. And I'm actually linking, no? इधर से इधर, फिर उसको लेके आगे, उसको लेके आगे. This is how we calculate in real life, not this average. Right? But I mean, institute takes the average. हो गया डन? हाँ हाँ कर and even otherwise, I mean, if I were to ask you, would you invest in gold or would you invest in real estate? What would you do? I mean, I'm giving you a choice as of today. आपके पास दो choice है, invest in gold or invest in real estate. Which will you prefer? Invest in gold. Why? See, finally, मानो या ना मानो, आप लोग भी आर की ही बात कर रहे हो. रिटर्न मेरा ज्यादा मिलेगा. I mean, you have consciously never, you've always been thinking about price. You know, 100 में खरीदेंगे 200 में बेचेंगे. ऐसे बॉस don't think of 100 200, think of 100% return. और दूसरे एसेट में मेरा 20% रिटर्न. Right? And I've time and again told you, for me, investing in 1 rupee share and getting 2 rupees is the same as investing in a 50,000 shares and getting 1 lakh rupees. कोई फर्क नहीं है मेरे लिए. Which is why I also like trading in penny stocks. Penny stocks जो 20 रुपया 30 रुपया होता है ना, right? 20 का 40 हो जाए यार, मेरे लिए बहुत है. I mean, ऐसा जरूरी थोड़ी है कि पेडर रोड में 2 करोड़ का फ्लैट लूंगा और वो 4 करोड़ हो. मैं 20 का 40 करता हूं. टके वाइज तो हम सब सेम ही है. So what you should be focusing is on R, not on prices or absolute amounts. Okay, chalo. Now we get into थोड़ा गोल्ड और रियल एस्टेट का क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या है? अथर्व, डिपेंड्स नो. आपको क्या लगता है? आपको क्या लगता है अथर्व? रियल एस्टेट में रिटर्न ज्यादा है. सी, दैट इज द पॉइंट आई वांटेड टू ट्राई टू से. फाइनली यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आर, राइट? सो जब भी आप एफएम का कोई भी चैप्टर देख रहे हो, डोंट लुक एट इट एज अ स्टैंड अलोन चैप्टर. फाइनली इट्स ऑल लिंक्ड. आर. ओके, कैलकुलेट द प्राइस ऑफ 3 month फ्यूचर. ये तुम्हारा क्वेरी का जवाब मिलेगा. कैलकुलेट द प्राइस ऑफ, हाँ, ये क्वेश्चन 6 है. पता नहीं उसमें कौन सा है, पुराने बुक में कौन सा है. आई डोंट नो पुराने बुक में है भी कि नहीं. नहीं होगा. इसका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होगा. The question after this will be there, but maybe this question is not there in the old book. You can take a click, no? Calculate the price of 3 month future PQR futures. If PQR face value 10 quotes at 220 on NSE. ये 220 क्या है? This is spot. And the 3 month future price quotes at 230. 1 minute. Read the first line again. What are they asking you to do? Calculate the 3 month future. But look at the second line. What are they saying? The 3 month future is quoting at 230. This is like स्क्रीन पे फ्यूचर का प्राइस दिख रहा है. एंड आई एम सेइंग बॉस वो तो स्क्रीन का है, तुम अपने हिसाब से बता ना पहले मेरे को. राइट? इफ योर प्राइस इज इक्वल टू द स्क्रीन प्राइस, व्हाट इज द कंक्लूजन? नथिंग. इट इज ऑप्टिमली प्राइस. कुछ नहीं करने का है. बट इफ योर प्राइस इज लोअर देन द स्क्रीन प्राइस, देन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? अंडरवैल्यूड और ओवरवैल्यूड? If your price is less than the screen price, overvalued. एक मिनट, आपके हिसाब से प्राइस 20 रुपया होना चाहिए, मार्केट में 50 रुपया है, तो इज दैट कमोडिटी ओवर वैल्यूड? यस. व्हाट विल यू डू? बाय और सेल? Sell. See, now you calculate your price. Forget about the screen price. That will come to later. You calculate your price. Okay. Now they are saying calculate the price of 3-month future. If the spot is 220 and the 3-month future is 230 and the 1-month borrowing rate, ये 1-month borrowing rate नहीं होगा, ये 3-month borrowing rate है. 3-month borrowing rate is given as 15% per annum. And the expected annual dividend is 25% payable before expiry. Before expiry मतलब कभी? In the end, arrears. Just before expiry, it will be paid. Also examine arbitrage opportunities. See, now we are coming into that arbitrage. Okay. चलो, सबसे पहले future price. ये stock, this is for stock. So it will be spot. Dividend is payable at the end. So we can say spot into one plus RN minus dividend. Remember, the rate of interest is not continuously compounded. Okay. Now spot is 220 into 1 plus 0.15 divided by 12 into 3 minus rupees 2.5, 25% dividend. .15 divided by 4 plus 1 into 220 minus 2.5. Achha. Now, what is the future price traded in the market? 230. एक मिनट, अभी लिखना मत चालू करना, just listen to what I've got to say. Which means, see, we know that future is equals to spot into 1 plus RN minus dividend, right? Now they're saying future price is 230. Spot is 220 into 1 plus 0.15 by 12 into 3 minus 2.5, right? Now the question is, इसका आंसर कितना आ रहा है? That means arbitrage profit of 4 rupees 25 paisa is possible. Okay. What will you do to arbitrage? Sell futures. But arbitrage always requires, what are the 3 conditions for arbitrage? Simultaneous what? 2 opposite actions taken together simultaneously. Profit must be locked on day 1 and you must return back to your original condition. Right? Remember, that is good for any arbitrage. Now, 2 opposite action, no? So right now you only told me 1, that is sell futures. What's the other action that I need to take? Buy spot. Okay. Now understand, how did you determine this arbitrage? First of all, you calculated the price of futures and you decided that those futures is overpriced. And we know that anything which is overpriced, sell. So you sell the futures, that means you must buy the spot. Right? If the future was, let's say, 290. 240. What would you have done? Would you have still done the same thing? If the future price was trading at 240? Same thing. But what if the future price was 200? You will buy the futures and sell spot. Stop hona zaruri hai to sell spot? No, remember, that's what I told you. You don't have the stock, borrow it, na? SLB. Right? So you can do both ways. Okay? चलो now एक मिनट, don't write anything, just follow carefully what we are doing. हाँ, which normal condition? एक मिनट, विदाउट कैलकुलेशन कैसे करोगे? What will you do? एक मिनट, टू, हाँ, एंड सेल करोगे तो मतलब प्रॉफिट है, वही बोल रहे हो ना सर, 10 रुपया तो प्रॉफिट ही है। अच्छा, एक मिनट, 1 करोड़ में फ्लैट खरीदते हो, राइट, और 1,02,000 में, 1,02,000 रुपया में 31 दिसंबर को सेल कर दोगे, प्रॉफिट है क्या? क्यों नहीं है ना 2,000? नहीं, क्यों बोल रहे हो प्रॉफिट नहीं है? क्यों बोल रहे हो प्रॉफिट नहीं है? 2,000 तो है। तो फिर तुम जो बोल रहे हो सर ये तो हम वैसे ही कर सकते थे, 220 में खरीदे, 230 में बेचे, प्रॉफिट। इंटरेस्ट कैलकुलेट करने के बाद प्रॉफिट बचना चाहिए ना, तो ये करने के बाद ही तेरा बनेगा। सपोज इसमें इंटरेस्ट कंसिडर करने के बाद, इफ यू कंसिडर इंटरेस्ट, द प्राइस एज पर यू केम टू 230, is there any arbitrage? But then the spot price is 220, future is 230, so buy at 220 and sell at 230, no? But interest consider करने के बाद कुछ प्रॉफिट ही नहीं है ना इसमें, so you can't do that, just spot and future. You'll have to factor in the interest. Okay, now if therefore futures trading at 230 is overpriced, right? And arbitrage profits can be made by क्या करोगे? अच्छा, इसको I mean, there is another way of understanding this. For example, let me just shift this here. And let me bring this in here. Okay. Now, look at both sides of the portfolio, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Okay. Now, a phone is selling at 240 in Chennai, and the same phone is trading at 220 in Mumbai. What will you do? Buy from Mumbai and sell at Chennai, which means basically you are buying the cheaper phone, selling the expensive phone, or in other words, you are buying the cheaper portfolio, selling the expensive portfolio. Now, compare this figure, 230, 225.75. Which is the cheaper portfolio? That means you're going to buy this side of the portfolio, and you're going to sell this side of the portfolio. But remember, the left-hand side portfolio is what? Left-hand side portfolio is what? Futures. And the right-hand side portfolio is what? You're basically doing that only, no? Buy the cheaper side, sell the expensive side. Expensive side is the future, the cheaper side is the spot. Okay, so you are going to buy spot and sell, yes, Sonal, sell 3-month futures. Acha, now carefully follow what I'm discussing. Likhunga, but what are the series of transactions I'll do on day 1? I will call up the broker, buy spot, buy the share spot, and today itself I'll tell the broker, boss, now you switch the tab, go into the derivative screen, right? And over future dikh raha hai na? Sell that, which means I'm executing trades on 2 different screens. Equity, derivatives, right? Okay. So he will enter into a sell contract in the derivative screen, right? Then After 3 months, right? What will I have to do? After 3 months, what do I need to do? I mean, just by doing this, is my arbitrage complete, or after at the end of 3 months, I need to do certain things? What do I need to do? Square off everything. But remember, I can't square off from this market to that market. जो ट्रांजैक्शन जिस मार्केट में किया गया है उसको उधर ही स्क्वायर ऑफ करना है. So on expiry date, again I will enter into 2 transactions. In the equity market, I will tell him to enter into a sell, and in the futures market, I'll tell him to enter into a buy. Profit loss आएगा और दोनों करने के बाद मेरे पास ₹4.25 should be left. Have you all understood the sequence? Huh? Okay. Now, let's see how this works. Day 1. And like I said, boss, likhna mat, abhi just follow karte jana. Day 1, you are going to buy spot. Right? Now, if you buy spot, is there going to be an outflow or an inflow? Okay. So let's have 2 columns here. Inflow, outflow. Okay. You're going to have an outflow of how much? Kitna? 220. 220, no? The spot price is 220, right? And stock will come in. Stock आपका डीमैट अकाउंट में आ जाएगा ना, right? Okay. Then simultaneously you are going to sell 3-month futures at what price is the future trading today? Okay. This will be an inflow or an outflow? Huh? This will be an inflow or an outflow? Inflow? Nothing. Because understand, you are entering only into a futures contract. Now I'll say, sir, margin. Margin, I won't consider, boss. वो जाएगा, वापस आ जाएगा. उसका interest I'll consider. If at all there is. Otherwise, entering into a futures contract, no inflow, outflow. Right. Okay. Then, on day 90. Now, the problem is, day 90, the spot price could have moved to anything. Right? Maybe this 220 wala stock has crashed to 90, or maybe this 220 wala stock has gone to 500. Right? In an arbitrage, should my profit change if the stock price is 90 or 120 to 500? It should not, no? So let us take 2 arbitrary situations where on day 90, the current market price happens to be 80. Okay? Now, what should I do on sell spot? Okay. When I sell spot, how much? What will be the inflow, outflow? Kya hoga? 80 will be inflow and stock goes out. Okay. फिर ये futures का क्या होगा? Futures sold at 230 will now be squared off. That is purchased at what price? At what price? Huh? 80. Now, this will result in a profit or a loss?
Profit.
Profit, no? You've sold at 230, buying it at 80, resulting in profit of how much? Inflow. Huh? Okay. Anything else that we need to consider in this whole scheme of inflow, outflow? See, you purchase the stock today, no? दैट मीन एक मिनट, योर मनी हैज गॉट ब्लॉक्ड, परचेज डेट पैसा तो लगा होगा ना, तो उसका इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट लेना पड़ेगा आपको, राइट? सो नाउ दिस आर इंसिडेंटल interest cost. Interest cost will be how much? What is the rate of interest? 15 by 100 of 220 for 3 months. Huh? 8.25 inflow outflow. और कुछ डिविडेंड मिला है, you have purchased the stock, no? So you would have got the dividend. How much? Right? हो गया. At the end of 30 days, 90 days, now you'll sit down to make a हिसाब कि बॉस मेरा टोटल इनफ्लो कितना हुआ है, टोटल आउटफ्लो कितना हुआ है. एक काम करते हैं, रुको यहां पे ना, just 1 minute, just 1 minute. Net inflow, sorry, net outflow. Net outflow on day 1. अच्छा. Now, can you just calculate the net inflow or outflow on day 90? See, this is 230, 232.5. And this is 8.25. So what is your net inflow? 2. How much is your profit? 4.25. Right? Now, what would have happened? Now wait. Now what I do is, just for your reference, आप लोग एक के नीचे एक लिख सकते हो. Just for reference, I'm just copying this back again here. You don't need to do this. ये तो सेम ही है, right? Now supposing on day 90, the current market price of stock is 500. 500 रुपये चलेगा, ठीक है? क्या क्या करना है मुझे? First, sell spot. Now when I sell spot, I will get 500. Stock goes up. Okay. Then futures sold at 230. Now squared off. That is purchased at 500, resulting in loss of 270. अच्छा, फिर इंटरेस्ट, सॉरी, 15% of 220 for 3 months. कितना था ये? 8.25, that is outflow. And dividend 2.5 inflow. Okay, so 502.5 and this is 278.25 net inflow on day 90, 224 point. You see that profit आपका knock हो चुका है. This is, of course, we will do sums in the next lecture when we do the other way. यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया था? Buy spot, sell futures. In the next lecture, we'll do the other way because there are only two things possible, na? Right? We'll buy futures and sell spot. वो अगले lecture में करेंगे. But this is how we arbitrage. Again, in the next lecture, we'll show how we can do it in real life. Right? चलो ये अभी लिख लो. I think we did it till here. From here. Huh? Huh? Any future, even commodity futures, same. Buy spot, sell future, or other way around. The same thing. Next lecture, we'll see the live market में कैसे हम arbitrage identify करते हैं. क्योंकि यहाँ तो everything is data is given, no? There we'll see how to extract the information and do the arbitrage. अच्छा, is this risk free? Is this arbitrage risk free? Yes, absolutely risk free. ये पूरा हराम का कमाई है. No risk, nothing, just कमाई. Scroll down, please. जो हुकुम मालिक. हाँ,
ब्रोकर को काम करते हैं आप बोलते हैं ना ब्रोकर भी सेम कर सकते हैं ना वो
एक मिनट. आप मिठाई का दुकान में मिठाई खरीदने जाते हो? मिठाई वाला खुद अपना मिठाई कभी खाता है? क्योंकि अगर वो खाने लग गया, राइट, तो फिर ग्राहक को कौन देगा? अगर वही सी द मोर एंड मोर पीपल डू दिस आर्बिट्राज, राइट, द आर्बिट्राज अपॉर्चुनिटी विल वैनिश, राइट. अब तुम्हारा ब्रोकर तुमको कभी ये बताता नहीं है तो तुम क्या करोगे? यू विल शिफ्ट योर अकाउंट to someone who will tell. See, there's a difference, no? I mean, the businessman can make profit by himself, but that is not the objective, no? अच्छा, और and ये सब के लिए कैपिटल चाहिए होता है. See, you're buying spot, right? And when you sell futures, you have to pay margins. एक ब्रोकर अपने लिए कितना कर लेगा? ऐसा लिमिट होगा ना. फिर वो क्या बोलेगा? चलो यार 50 जन को बोलते हैं तो वो 50 जन करेंगे तो मेरा दलाली तो बनेगा. बेटा आपको एक चीज यू मे नॉट बी पॉसिबली अंडरस्टैंड इज दिस. नहीं, मैं तो कुछ भी प्राइस एज्यूम कर सकता हूं। यू आर सेइंग दिस, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस 80, नो? कि सर ये आपने 80 कैसे एज्यूम किया? नहीं, ये मैं कब करने वाला हूं, ये सेल स्पॉट? आप ये सी की बात कर रहे हो ना? हाँ, ऑन विच डे एम आई गोइंग टू सेल दिस स्टॉक? एंड ऑन 90, एंड अंडरस्टैंड, डे 90 को कुछ भी प्राइस हो जाए मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, राइट? मैं यहां पे ऐसा बोल रहा हूं कि अगर मान लो डे 90 को प्राइस 80 निकला, मैं यहां पे खड़े रह के उधर की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं इधर आ गया हूं अभी और आज क्या भाव है? 80, तो भी मेरा प्रॉफिट बनेगा। यहां पे पहुंचा, ब्रोकर को पूछा क्या भाव है? 500, तो भी मेरा प्रॉफिट बनेगा, राइट? ये हो गया? हाँ, अच्छा, इसका जो नीचे है ना, व्हाट, इंस्टेड ऑफ कॉपिंग दिस फर्स्ट पार्ट अगेन, आप फर्स्ट पार्ट वहीं पे रखो, आप लोग का तो सब सेम पेज में ही जा रहा होगा। बिकॉज इवन इन एग्जाम इफ यू हैव टू एज्यूम टू प्राइस, वो टॉप पोर्शन 2 बार मत लिखना, इट्स अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम, वो तो एक बार फ्रीज हो गया। सो इफ यू वांट यू कैन जस्ट कॉपी दिस डे 90 500।
सर ऐसा तो होता है कि मैंने अभी सेल फ्यूचर 230 पे किया ना, फिर मैं बाय फ्यूचर्स करता हूँ 200 पे।
तो फिर तुम आर्बिट्राज नहीं, बिकॉज तुमने स्पॉट में कुछ कर रखा है ना, उधर लफड़ा हो जाएगा। सी, यू सोल्ड द फ्यूचर्स, नाउ यू आर सेइंग सर मैं इसको बाय कर लेता हूं, व्हेन विल यू बाय? व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग प्रॉफिट, राइट? नाउ इफ यू हैव सोल्ड, यू विल मेक प्रॉफिट ओनली व्हेन द प्राइस ऑफ इट गोज डाउन। तो आपने प्रॉफिट तो कमा लिया, लेकिन उधर जो स्टॉक खरीद के रखे हो, नाउ व्हाई हैज द फ्यूचर प्राइस गॉन डाउन? स्पॉट हैज गॉन डाउन ना, तो स्पॉट तो तुम खरीद के रखे हो, तो अभी इधर क्या हो गया, तुम प्रॉफिट करके निकल गए, लेकिन उसके बाद स्पॉट और गिरते चले गया, गिरते चले गया, गिरते चले गया, तो आपका ये प्रॉफिट तो खत्म हो गया अभी।
नहीं, पर अगर मैं मेरा शेयर है 3 मंथ के बाद 230 पे, मैंने अब तक खरीदा ही नहीं
क्या नहीं खरीदा?
स्टॉक। आपने बोला ना
नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट,
फर्स्ट डे पे नहीं होना।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, तुमने फ्यूचर्स फर्स्ट डे बेच दिया, लेकिन स्टॉक नहीं खरीदा, राइट? नाउ व्हाट, अगर तुम्हारे बेचने के बाद फ्यूचर का प्राइस ऊपर चले गया तो लॉस हो जाएगा ना, राइट? और यहाँ पे आर्बिट्राज में वी कांट हैव अ सिचुएशन ऑफ लॉस। इनफैक्ट इफ यू हैव डन वन लेग ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन, नॉट डन द अदर, देन रिमेंबर इट्स नॉट आर्बिट्राज इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस, इट्स स्पेकुलेशन, और स्पेकुलेशन में तो प्रॉफिट लॉस दोनों हो सकता है।
ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है कि मतलब मैंने 230 पे सेव किया फ्यूचर,
लॉग्स इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास, यस मेहिका, लॉग्स इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास, हाँ
मैंने 230 पे फ्यूचर पे किया,
करेक्ट।
मैं अभी 1 महीने बाद में फिर उसको बाय,
एक मिनट, तुम स्पॉट कुछ नहीं किए,
कुछ नहीं किया,
तो फिर यू आर स्पेकुलेटिंग ऑन फ्यूचर्स, ठीक है? यू हैव सोल्ड, अभी तो महीने भर के बाद फ्यूचर का प्राइस या तो ऊपर चले गया होगा या नीचे गया होगा, अगर नीचे गया तो तुम्हारा प्रॉफिट है, पर ऊपर चले गया तेरा लॉस है, तो ये तो स्पेकुलेशन हो गया, यू कैन डू। हाँ, आर्बिट्राज नहीं, आर्बिट्राज के लिए तो तेरे को वो दो ऑपोजिट एक्शन चाहिए ही चाहिए।